Good evening, everyone. I would like to call this regular City Commission meeting to order. It's Monday, January 8th, 2018. We're at Buchanan City Hall. It is now 7 o'clock p.m. If everyone would please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And if everyone could please take a moment, myself included, to make sure that your cell phone is put on silent or vibrate, we would all really appreciate it. Thank you. This evening, we are joined by Pastor Dan, and he's going to be giving the invocation this evening. Yeah, it's our new spot. Feel free to adjust the...
Please join me in prayer. Lord God, we give you thanks that you've gathered so many concerned citizens this night. Thank you for our commissioners that have come here to serve this city. And Lord, as you spoke to the boy Samuel, and he said, "Here I am, Lord," and you spoke to him and he listened to your words. So may we know your will and guide the decisions that are made this night, that they may be to the benefit of this community and for all who live here, as we pray in the name of our Savior Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much. We are up to item number 2. We're going to hear from, 2A, Chamber of Commerce Director introduction, and we'll be hearing from Jerry Flenner this evening. Come on up, Jerry, and you brought a guest.
Commissioners, I believe you all know me. I'm president of the Buchanan Chamber of Commerce. For the members in the audience who don't know me, I am Jerry Flenner, president of the Chamber of Commerce. It's my honor tonight to introduce our new executive director of the chamber. Carol is her name. It's not a repeat, it's actually her name. Carol comes up to us from the Chicagoland area. She's been living out at White Oaks now for approximately 5 years, has vast experience in her working days in the wine and spirits industry. So hopefully the wine connection to Baroda and all that will come through Buchanan, from South Bend, Elkhart, through Buchanan, and we can tie into some of that industry. So with that, Carol has a few words that she would like to say.
Thank you, Jerry.
Well, I just want to thank you, and I'm very honored to have this position. I love Buchanan, and I want everyone to know that I'm not trying to make anything Chicago. I love it, and I'd like us to be happy here. I also wanted to say, just for the upcoming event, the Thrill of the Hill, we will be offering the carriage rides on Saturday from 4 to 7 o'clock. They will be $5 a person, and children under 3 will be for free.
Okay.
If you ever need me, please, I'm always available. I will always be available for you at the Chamber of Commerce office. Okay?
Thank you, and welcome.
Thank you so much.
Carol, just to let you know, I'm from the Chicagoland area also, so I've been here 16 years, so welcome.
It's not a bad thing, okay?
No,
Well,
She moved to Buchanan because she loved the small town atmosphere.
that's why we did too.
cool.
Yes. Thank you.
Except for the last week.
Yeah. All right, and we are now on agenda item 2B. And this evening, we have special guests, the Buchanan Girl Scouts, Katie DeVlamick and a friend who she'll need to introduce. And they will be presenting a bench that they had made to the city. Girls, you want to come on up to the microphone, and then we'll go over and get our picture taken with the bench, okay?
So, we're Katie DeLaunig and Alicia Ferguson, and we're from Troop 30708, and we recently transferred to Group 30545. And we recycled caps for about 3 years, and we've been having a lot of hard work.
Okay.
The caps that we collected were, pop bottle caps, like water bottle caps, medicine bottles, and just like food containers, lids, and detergent caps.
So the plastics consisting of the numbers 2, 4, and 5. And we decided to do this project because we've been thinking recycling these bottle caps from our landfill is helping the whole pollution problem. Not every part of it because it's only one bench, but it has saved some of the pollution in our landfill. And we want to ask you and tell you today if we could put this bench right next to the little library in the McCoy Creek Park.
That would be very nice. So we'll make the arrangements and take care of that. Now, do you happen to know how many bottle caps did you ladies have to save?
300 pounds. 200.
And then it turned out that color.
Yes.
Wow, that's really impressive, girls. Do you all have any questions for them?
I think it's just fantastic that you ladies took the time to do this for Buchanan. And
Yes.
it's great to see young people take initiatives and complete a nice project like this. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
It's a great idea.
They don't normally recycle caps, do they?
No, No,
The caps usually go in the trash, don't they?
yeah.
So you guys collecting these, you going through the trash and collecting them?
Well, we've been asking many people, like from our other troop, to collect them for us, and
Oh.
we've been saving them too. And many of our friends have saved them for us too. So just as you go, they would put it in a bag and give it to us.
Who made the bench for you?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Green Tree Plastics.
Did they
Where's that
donate
at?
that for you? Or did they make that? Or did
Where's
they
Green Tree
charge
at?
it?
Do you know? Evansville, Indiana?
Okay.
Thank you.
A 5.5-hour drive, and as Alicia was there, they made the bench using our caps.
Cool.
Very
Fantastic.
nice.
Thanks,
Yeah.
ladies.
That
Very
is
good.
so
Very
great.
nice.
Yeah.
We are, yes, go right ahead.
Do you have any other follow-up projects that you have in mind for the future?
Well, we were just talking right now about our gold project, and we were thinking of maybe doing like a work week at Fernwood, but we would have to check up there for like maybe a week, having an arts and crafts day, and like we can build birdhouses which can go to Fernwood.
Cool.
Great idea.
Wow, you ladies are really impressive. And I'm very excited because I've been on the city commission for about 2.5 years, and this is the first time the Girl Scouts have visited us. We've been visited by the Boy Scouts several times and a Tiger Pack, but never the Girl Scouts. So thank you for coming very much. We really appreciate that, and it's just lovely. What a nice gift to our community. So thank you. Would someone from the city mind taking a picture of me with the girls with the bench and maybe their leaders a second real quick before they go? Thanks.
Is your Girl Scout troop from Buchanan? You're from Buchanan, but your troop's not. Okay, I was just curious.
Come on over. How about the leaders come on up too? Just put it right here. How's that? All right, I'll hold the poster. All right, we're gonna look at her first, okay? And then we'll look at Mr. Ashton, okay? All right, 3 minutes are up. Oh, big sister's gotta get one too.
And could you tell us your names again, please? Because I don't think it was in the microphone. Could you tell us your names again and where your troop?
And Alicia Ferguson.
Okay, thank you so much. And congratulations.
so nice to see so many children giving back to this community. I am very proud of the young people of Buchanan. And with that, we're going to go ahead and go on to roll call. Gladys, can you please give roll call for us?
Cole? Here. Hess?
Here?
Moore?
Here.
Tarney?
Here.
Bianski?
Yes.
You have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. And with that, we're up to item number 4, public comments. Citizens are allowed up to 3 minutes to discuss any agenda item. Please come to the microphone and address the commission as a whole. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jackie Lau, and I'm the chair of the Buchanan Dog Park Committee, and I know we're on the agenda for tonight, and there's been some concerns expressed concerning contamination, possible contamination from our dog waste at the wellhead. And in residential distances from the well to the septic tank has to be 75 feet to be code. For a required distance from municipal well to any potential contamination source is 200 feet, and our dog park is over 550 feet from the wellhead. We also have addressed it by coming up with a waste disposal area that's going to be inside the park, that's going to be secured down, either padlocked in place or whatever, and secured away from so dogs cannot dock it down and it would be harder for it to be vandalized. The city has stated that they will pick up the trash on a routine basis as they do the trash pickup down there at the park. We also have a dumpster available to us, so if we go up there and discover our can is full, we can just walk it down to the dumpster. Buchanan does have a pooper scooper law, and that will be enforced at the dog park also, and it'll be part of our rules that will be posted clearly at the entrance. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with how the entrance to the dog park will work, but it'll be wide. You come in from the dugout side on the third base side and go into a holding area. You close the gate behind you, you take the leash off your dog, and then open up the gate to the appropriate area, be it the small dog or the large dog, and then let your dog go in there. The waste receptacle can will be located at the end of that inside the park. I know my dog is no angel, and if the can was not secured in some way, I know she'd figure out a way to knock it down and get into it. A second issue was that we didn't have enough members on our dog park committee, and we have 627 Facebook members, and they routinely private message us with suggestions. I talk to people in the community all the time. I know the other members of the committee do. I was down there for 10 straight days, the end of October and the 1st of November, down by Remick Field, talking to people down there that already had dogs there and getting suggestions on what they wanted in the dog park. And we have proposed putting the lot on Victory Street up for sale with a realtor for 18 months, and if it isn't sold, then we will reevaluate it with the city and see if there's an interest in that lot. And if not, then we will pay the purchase price for it, and we will retain control of it.
Okay, thank you. And we'll,
I have little things on. I feel funny walking up here.
oh, that's fine.
Thank you.
And I also might add that it's just a fluke that I happen to be off tonight. I normally work Monday night.
Well, we appreciate the information that you brought, and yes, we'll be speaking about this later this evening. Thank you so much. Okay, anyone else for public comment this evening? All right, and with that, public comment is closed, and we will go on to the consent calendar. And I believe we were going to talk about taking something off. Commissioner Moore?
I have a motion to make a correction to the work session summary of December 18th, 2017, to reflect Commissioner Tierney was absent and to excuse that absence.
Okay, I will need a second on that.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Commissioner Viganski. Gladys, can you do a roll call for us, please?
Hess?
Yes.
Tarney?
Yes.
Cole? Yes. Bianski?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Unanimous, Your Honor.
Thank you. And then do I need to make a motion for the whole consent calendar too then?
Well, Your Honor, I'll make the motion that we approve the consent calendar as corrected.
All right, I need a second.
Second.
Okay. And we'll need a roll call, please.
Tarney?
Yes.
Call?
Yes.
Hess?
Yes.
Bianski?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Unanimous, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much.
That resolution will be 163.
I'm sorry, did you say 163?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, sorry. All right, and now we are up to, let's see, item number 6, reports by departments, committees, and boards. I don't have anyone down for that. Is there someone coming for that this evening? Anyone? Okay, great. With that, we'll be moving on to item number 7, unfinished business. We are on item A, consider the selection of a contractor, request for qualification, RFQ, to construct the needed updates to the wastewater treatment plant by constructing an oxidation ditch. And we're going to hear from Bill Housand and Jason Williams from our wastewater treatment plant. Come on up, gentlemen. Hi, good evening. Thank you for coming.
I don't know exactly what you were looking for tonight. We were looking as a follow-up to our work session, to follow up the discussion that happened after the fact, and that was to consider.
That's what the chief had given us.
Okay, so basically, in the work session, we discussed different options about what we were gonna do. Following through and looking at how that proposal plan would work out, what we found out was that it was likely to increase the cost of the project, because we're asking people to put a proposal together on stuff they don't know anything about. Whereas with the way that the original RFQ was worded, was we were trying to select someone that we wanted to work with, and I think that's where we're at right now. Coming back, we looked at everything and we realized that all things considered, we're better off doing it that way. It's better for the city, it's gonna cost less, and we have good experience with one of the people that submitted qualifications packets. And that's what we're here to recommend, was that we use Gosling, Zubek, FHC, and Davis as our vendors and contractors for this. And as we work through the program, we'll have opportunities to weigh each individual step. Instead, the proposals will come in piecemeal, so we'll have an opportunity to evaluate things as we go ahead, instead of basically asking somebody to put something together and then we're stuck with it. And one of the things we heard from both sides was that basically if we did that, because they didn't know what all was going to be entailed with it, it was likely that at some point prices were gonna go up because they were gonna have to have contingencies. Whereas this way, we're working with them to go through the process to get what we want. And we've had luck with this before with the Headworks. It saved us quite a bit of money doing it this way. So that's what we're recommending, is that we use those three as our who we want to source the work to.
Okay. Commissioners, who has questions? Okay, Commissioner Turney?
Thank you, Your Honor. Had to get rid of a stink bug that's on the table.
We had a special guest.
But anyway, after going over the material, I sort of agree with you guys, because they have already built something for us, although the other one seems to have more experience, as far as building, water plants and all that.
I don't know that I would go that far.
You don't think so?
No, I actually think if you turn to page 19 in that packet that you had there, there's a guy, he's actually the owner of FHC. His name's Bob Holt. The bottom one, Dale. The green one right here.
Okay, well, this is the one that you're looking for. This was the one that they have done a lot of other work for a lot of other communities. However, Gosselin has actually done some work for us, so they actually know some of our process already.
Right, one of the things I was getting at, though, is that Bob Holt, the guy that owns FHC, has personally been involved in literally dozens of new wastewater treatment plants. Like I said, page 19 shows.
Yeah,
his-
I seen that, yeah.
And when you combine everything up, I don't know that I would go so far as, They have quite a bit of experience, I think as much as most people out there.
Oh, no, I'm not questioning that. I mean, I've also looked over their income and statement sheet and everything, and, you know, they're pretty close as far as that's concerned. What's got me on this one here is I think you're correct, because they have done a major project for us, so they have some idea already what some of our needs would be. I just want to let everybody know that I sort of am agreeing with you that they should be the one.
And I wasn't trying to argue, I just wanted to make sure we're
Oh, no.
clear. They have a ton of experience, so.
Okay, yeah, you were pointing it out,
Yep,
yeah.
that's all.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay,
If I can
Yeah.
add something to that real quick.
Please do.
I actually spoke to both the contractors and the engineers on these jobs, and I asked the same question. How would it be to bid this out that far in advance? Both sides says we would have to add 20% to what we would normally do.
Right.
And then I asked, how would we get better, how would we had a conflict, we selected you as our engineering firm, we had a conflict on pricing on particular items. How would we deal that out if we selected you as our contractor to head this project or our engineer? They said every step along the way could in fact be that RFP that you're talking about. If you don't like the price on the building or the machines that you selected, we can go get alternative prices. But if you're asking us to bid now, we're gonna be millions ahead of what we don't know. We don't even know for 5 years out if we can even get those materials. And talking with both said that the request for qualifications is the way to go. That way we can have our numbers more dialed in when it comes time to buy our equipment. So.
okay. Commissioner Moore?
So are you asking us to make a selection or follow your recommendation tonight over which contracting group? So I'll just make the motion that we follow your contracting recommendations.
I'll support.
No support, okay.
Okay, roll call, please.
Did Tony support that?
I-
Yes, he
well,
did,
no, Actually,
yes.
she
Okay,
got it
that's
before
what I
I
thought.
did.
Oh, Carla, okay.
It's a dual,
Tony?
yes.
Bianski?
Yes.
Hess?
Yes,
Cole? Yes. Moore?
Yes.
Unanimous, Your Honor.
thank you. And thank you for all your hard work on this.
5 years now, right?
All right. All
Yeah,
right.
okay.
Thank you very much. All right, and under unfinished business, item B, the dog park location and repayment for former property purchase. Dan, I guess we're going to address your questions.
Well, Your Honor.
Yes.
I just wanted to say that the proposal that Jackie brought forward to the bar was approved by the bar also, and that was the recommendation on the Victory Street property. So we try to market it and sell it,
Okay.
so.
Well, the whole problem is this wasn't done before we did the Victory property. You know, I mean, it would have been nice to gotten this, and I appreciate all your work. You know, and 630 members is not really what my question was. The committee's only got 3 members on it, and 2 of them are commissioners, and you're the other one. So there's 3 people on the committee. And I have a very difficult time getting them answers. You know, we didn't get a line out on budget. We've been on this for 12 years, and I really don't want concentrated dog urine or dog crap, irregardless, especially on a recommendation by MDEQ, especially by MDEQ or the EPA. I've had direct work with both parties. And the fact that we have a property on Victory already, and it's 10 years out, or was gonna be 10 years out, and now all of a sudden we can be done by Memorial Day, I don't know, did manna fall from the sky? I mean, it's hard to not be sarcastic, and I'm trying very hard not to be sarcastic. But we had no update on this whatsoever. We got the Victory property thrown at us. We shouldn't have bought it till it was tore down. We bought it before it was tore down. We were told we were gonna get reimbursed, and I'm looking directly at you because I don't want to look at, you know, I'm addressing you. So don't take it personal. But, you know, there was no work on Victory. We bought Victory. And the way the county has written the law, you can't even buy the property until the property is tore down. But the city bought it, and then we tore it down. And now we own the property. and we're stuck with it. There's one person out there that is really raising a holy Cain after the fact that she doesn't want a dog park in her neighborhood. So you have the property, and it's not on our watershed. And, I mean, I really do. I wish I'd have seen this 2 years ago. I might have backed off this dog park 2 years ago. And, I mean, Niles is trying to start one, and I know Katrina very well. They established the fact that they were gonna need $100,000 before they even made any attempt. You know, and what have we got? I still don't know how much money you people have.
Okay, go ahead. Yep.
First off, there's not just 3 members on the committee, there's 4 of us. The 4th one has a difficult time sometimes due to his work commitments, being able to attend our meetings at the last minute. And secondly, the property was purchased at the recommendations of the city. It was not, I'm trying to think of a nice way to say.
Just say it right, outright, please. I will feel a lot better.
It was just a case of where we were at our last options. We had looked at the ballpark before, and there was concern about the Baseball Softball Association still wanting to use it. They hadn't completely decided they didn't want it. It wasn't completely abandoned. We looked all over the town for property that was large enough we could have a large and small dog area next to each other. That park out there is the most underutilized, beautiful spot in the whole city of Buchanan.
Don't disagree with you.
And yeah, go ahead, Commissioner Moore.
The impetus to buy the Victory Street Park, or that property, was because when you have a property that is blighted or delinquent and is now in the land bank, the city has the first option. And typically, the city will exercise that option if there is a chance to expand an existing park property. So that was what the recommendation from the city manager was to the dog park, that could make us more room there. But then we started hearing from the neighbors that they weren't too caring about an idea with the dog park. And some of the people already had dogs and they were concerned their dogs were going to be barking. They came to our meetings. We listened to them, and at the same time, the possibility for the park being relocated to the softball field, that it was no longer being used because it was too rough of a field to be a good field, became available. So it's not like there's some conspiracy theory. This is just all happening. And the main thing is that the biggest expense that's taken us all this long time is not just that we had tried all the different recommendations from the city manager to look at different locations throughout the city, but also that while that time, the biggest expense in these situations are the fencing. So we expect to actually be able to have the adequate fencing. The fence there is already going to be a big boost for us, and we expect to be able to open Memorial Weekend. So I would like to make the motion that...
Can I let Commissioner Turney, he had a question before you make the motion?
Well, I mean, I'd like to make the motion first, and then we can still
sure.
discuss
Yep,
it.
absolutely.
So I'd like to make the motion that we approve the repayment proposal from the Dog Park Committee regarding the Victory Street property.
Okay,
And I'll support.
okay. And do we need the roll call before?
No.
Oh, we
I
need
mean,
the
now we
comments.
discuss.
Okay, Dale, go right ahead.
I got some comments. Okay, well, I'm voting no on that, just to let you know, because I have another suggestion in how this should be repaid. Because we get $2,800 in taxpayer money that has been forked out and has 18 months before there even any money comes back to the city. No bank would give you that kind of loan, plus it's an interest-free loan. My suggestion is that we give them 6 months to sell the property. If at the end of the 6 months it's not sold, I would allow the dog park people to pay back at $900 per year until they make the full payment of the $2,800, which the last payment would be actually $1,000 or $1,100. If the city sells the property, within that time period, and the dog park people have paid back, and we didn't get the full $2,800 from selling the property, then we would reimburse the dog committee whatever we got. I would also think an agreement between the dog park and the city would be a strong binding contract, because sometimes things get misplaced or missaid a few years down the road. I think 18 months, not the city being repaid, is outrageous when that's taxpayer money. I'm agreeable to go with 6 months. That's my thoughts.
Okay. Commissioner Viganski?
This is not even the point, and I want to make it perfectly clear. I love my dog. I have a dog, so this is not anti-dog in any way, shape, or form. This is the way this is being handled. And then you want to put it off on the city manager. When I fought this initially with the way it was being done on Victory, and then when I went out to Victory Street, I started talking to the people, nobody had been contacted out there. So now, all of a sudden, you got all your ducks in a row, and after 12 years of trying to get a dog park, you're going to put one together in 3 months. You know, and then you got all your maintenance, you got all these, you know, it's a rock and roll fantasy is what it is. And you got a town of 4,300 people. Where's the money going to come from? I want to see Victory Park get redone. I want to see Catherine Park get new playground equipment. We lost 2 sets of, no ma'am, no. We had 2 sets of playground equipment from 2 different schools, and the city didn't do anything to get either set of that playground equipment for our parks. We talk about how expensive a water faucet is. I wouldn't even contemplate putting water faucets on these places because I talked to Willie Brown. You can't maintain them, so don't spend the money on them. So that's just a bad excuse. This is a new park for something. This is going to take money away from parks that we haven't maintained for 30 years because she wants it, and she wants it, and you want it. And 630 members don't hold water to me. I don't see them in here. I'm sorry. It doesn't hold water. And it's irrelevant anyhow because it's on our watershed, and you already own a piece of property that was pushed through, conspiracy or not. It wasn't a conspiracy. It was pushed through. It was given to us on Friday. It was voted on Monday because everybody wants to love dogs and they don't want to upset the general public about hating dogs. And this has got nothing to do, I don't eat dogs and I don't eat cats. And I don't kick them. You know, I pick on big people, not little people or little animals. I wanted to make that point very clear. And the fact that you want time with the taxpayers' money just absolutely amazes me. And then you blame the city manager, absolutely amazes me too. So.
Yes.
I am not blaming the city manager, I'm saying we were all part of this. We also have fencing that's been donated, and the only fencing we're gonna have to buy is approximately 50 to 60 feet of fencing. Otherwise, everything is all in place up there. There's already a water fountain down there, and there's, as far as the dog waste problem down there, have you ever gone down there and see how many people just take their dogs down there and let them run loose?
It's not concentrated. Drive by the place on US 12 where the pig farm's at. Pigs, the Youngs had pigs out here by across from the cemetery forever. And then when they concentrated them, that's why everybody got excited, because I couldn't figure it out either, so I started asking around. You concentrate it and then you put it in your water flow. Then you have a problem. We got water people, sewer people here that can testify to that fact. This is not about, you know, this is what should have been done 12 years ago. This plan should have been put in place 12 years ago as to how much money you needed to raise, how much money you were going to raise annually, and how you were going to do it. You know, you suddenly get a chance, and where are you going to get the money to maintain it? Is JT going to have to go pick up dog crap? You know, probably.
First off, it's required, it's going to be posted right there, you have to pick up after your dog. It's the law in the city of Buchanan.
And how are you going to enforce it? I'm not going to speculate with you on it.
We have $4,900 now, which is more than enough for our fencing, and we have an endowment fund for future maintenance costs down at the place.
We haven't seen that, though. As commissioners, we have not seen that.
We've been going through the bars.
You're supposed to go through the commission.
Okay. Commissioner Moore?
Call the question.
I'm sorry.
Call the question. I'm asking to vote
Okay.
on the motion.
All right. Roll call, please.
And that's to approve Ms. Lowe's prepayment proposal, correct?
It's to, this is
Repayment.
on the
Repayment.
motion that she made.
That I
That
made,
Pat made.
that the
Repayment,
repayment proposal.
right. Bianski,
No.
Hess,
No.
Tarney,
No,
Mar,
Yes.
Call.
Yes.
Motion failed by majority.
All right, moving on to new business. We're on letter A. Consider the budget amendment in major streets for engineering for the Redbud Trail and River Street traffic light and the city local share of costs in the amount of $104,000 or $104,200. And who will we be speaking about that this evening?
Your Honor.
Yes.
I sent a letter, or not, I sent an email out to the city manager with, in each details. I think I sent you a copy.
Right.
And that was before I read all the information
Right.
at the end of my
Yes.
packet.
Yes.
Which I then re-emailed the city manager and explained
Yes.
that, yes, that
And
is
I saw
fully.
that. Mhm.
Okay, you did, okay.
Yes.
And that is fully detailed. I think, I'll try to explain this because the city is getting quite a deal as far from the county is concerned. I don't know all the particulars, but after reading it, JT, I think you might, you know what I'm talking about? You're getting a new street light, you're getting new sidewalks, you're getting paving. We have to put up a small share to get we have to pay $104,000, and I think we're getting $250,000 or something like that from the county, is it, or is it the state? Grant money.
that we weren't, I don't think eligible to get for quite a few years, but since there weren't enough applications taken out, we applied. And I think that part of that traffic light is that will be consistent with what we have on the
Exactly.
our last traffic light, really, that we haven't done any maintenance to or anything with in quite a few years, at least the 26 years I've been here. So it's probably the input estimates that we screw in for a lot of content.
Right here. This is what you're getting.
The traffic light would be LEDs, programmable, like front Redbud. And we applied for that and we were awarded that money. I believe it's paid the engineering cost.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a whole bunch, it's broken down very well. It's just that I'm not an engineer. The only one question, JT, maybe you can help me out is, do you know how far the streets itself will be repaved from all this? How far they're gonna go?
Yeah, I see Mac here. I know that typically we've worked with Whiteman, and I know Whiteman's involved in that. He may be better than I. Typically, it's some of the money we have left in our project that we can spend. I think the total project's $307,000.
Yeah, it's 307.
307,000 basically.
And we need someone to make a motion to approve the spending of the engineering and our portion of the project, and that total would be $104,200 is what,
All right,
is
then.
what my understanding from our commissioner's brief.
I'll-
And
I'll make the motion, Your Honor, to approve the major streets for engineering for the Redbud Trail and River Street traffic light and the city local share of cost in the amount of $104,200.
I'll support.
okay, roll call, please.
Hess,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Bianski,
Yes.
Tarney,
Yes.
Call,
Yes.
unanimous, Your Honor.
Thank you. I think everyone is looking forward to
May I-
improvements. Yes.
May I make a?
Yes.
You know, the only question I would have, and I know you know that, is I'm just curious how far the new road would come, because we got the new road from the, the Redbud Trail there. How far do you think it might extend?
Yeah, a ways. We would certainly look at our infrastructure first. I know we need some lighting in our sanitary line through that area as well. So prior to us doing official asphalt in the city, we could do some infrastructure work on the road stuck up as well.
Well, maybe we can,
If you were mentioning the city manager today, I recommend a roundabout.
well, maybe we can look into that, because that's a great deal.
Shame on
Yeah.
you.
adorable
Mac, do you
idea.
have any?
Yeah, we can plant flowers in the middle of it, JT. I think that's adorable. Yeah, there you go.
Skating rink. That's what they do anyhow.
Let's not poo-poo that idea.
I'd love it.
Okay. All right. Well, and we can get more information from the next the next meeting. Thank you very much. Okay, we're on to new business. Item B, consider the upgrade on electronic meter reading system with ETNA Census in the amount of $39,185 for 2018, $15,942 for 2019, $16,420 for 2020, $16,913 for 21, and $17,420 for 2022, including a budget amendment for Water and Sewer Enterprise Fund in the amount of $39,185. And I'd like to say this off by, I feel like we're getting
Hosed.
the short end of the stick from this company. And Julie, would you like to go ahead and explain this? No, I'm pretty frustrated with the situation.
I've been dealing with it for a year. I'd like to introduce, I don't know if you've met him or not, but this is Josh Carter.
Hi, Josh.
He's our IT specialist. He's been with us.
Oh,
Off and on for 8 years now.
Great, thank you.
So, a year ago, February 3rd, 2017, we received a quote from Aetna saying that our system that we had installed in 2010 was no longer supported by Microsoft because they had upgraded their system. And so we needed to upgrade our system, our automatic reading system, which reads all of our meters electronically. And it does a lot more than that. And JT, what are you laughing at?
I was making gestures at Matt, but.
But no, I,
Want me to talk?
no. So, I know you are. But, so I just want you to know, Josh and I have worked diligently for a year. We have probably had 100 emails between Aetna and Census, myself and Josh. We have looked at other companies. We almost went with a company called Aquahawk. Then we found out that they kind of were in with Aetna, that they were going to, like, I thought we would save some money. I know that they were gonna work with Aetna, but we weren't saving any money because Aquahawk needed to talk with Aetna and Census, so the three of them would get all their data together, bring it into our system so that we can read the meters, process the data, and print the bills, and then also be able to electronically make the payments. So that wasn't a solution. As soon as we found out we were not being supported the way that we thought we were, they had notified us correctly, correct?
Actually, they didn't.
Go ahead.
What happened, and if, I don't know if any of you recall, I actually met with you back in 2014 under CompuTrain services, when Aetna quoted the upgrade of the hardware for your server system, for the utility billing servers, but not the software. You know, the software was still supported and up to date at that time. And we were able to provide the hardware at my company then, CompuTrain, for much cheaper than what Aetna had supplied. I think it was a quarter of the original cost that they had quoted. So moving forward to in September of this year, and Julie and I had been working back and forth for about 3 months, trying to figure out what these quotes that they were saying, you know, to upgrade the system, hosting it, and I said, I really don't,
There was no
not really a big deal to host things, you know, I like to keep them in-house and like to keep the data here,
Right.
and, you know, so that we don't pay these hosting fees when you already have the hardware here to support it. And that, so I worked with her and trying to figure out, you know, what that meant and what those quotes were. Well, in late September, I got a support call about not being able to access the state of Michigan's website from anywhere here inside the building. And that's where I found out that Aetna had stopped, or Census, sorry, had stopped supporting the local hardware here based on their moving forward with the hosting solution, that they didn't no longer supported on-site solutions. And so at that point, because Census has their own firewall here that protects that protected, in past tense, the servers that were here on site. And at the same day that Julie got notified that they were no longer supporting it, it was breached. You know, there was the state of Michigan was not able to allow anyone from this network to get to it because of that breach. So when I found that out, I got in and turned our firewall on towards the utility billing servers and interjected and protected, kicked out the people that were using it as a form of attack. You know, they get into the server and then they use it to, you know, send lots of packets of data to a website to, you know, take it down. And so I saw that traffic in the firewall and immediately stopped it, you know, put the brakes on it, and then went to the blacklist sites that the state of Michigan listed as, you know, said that they were no longer allowed to access, and delisted them. And you can only delist them once the server's been protected, you know, because if it continues, then it'll just keep getting relisted. So after that, the next day, you know, everyone was able to get back to the state websites. I noticed that the server was still trying to make attacks, but it was unable to. Our firewall was preventing it. So I called Census support to then find out, you know, what was going on, and they redirected me to sales to talk to Aetna, who has an exclusive deal since 2013, only worked with Aetna to provide the quotes for Census software. So they do have you by, you know, no other choice really to work with Aetna to get the quotes for the upgrade. And so at that point, we talked with this Chance Curtis from Census Sales, and then he said, you must talk with Bill, or I can't remember.
Bill and Eric?
Eric, for getting the quotes for the upgrade. And at which point we tried to dissect their quotes and try to get the best deal possible for the hosting solution. And I asked, is there any possible choice to keep the servers here with an in-house solution? Can we just upgrade the operating systems that are out of date here and keep it? And they said, no, they're not moving forward with anything locally hosted. Only the cloud-hosted solution will be used.
Meaning if we ever had a problem, they would not support us.
Right, so currently, if there's a problem with the system, I have no one to call like I've had for the last 6 years to support it, you know, 8 years actually.
So we wouldn't have a system.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
And if we don't have a system, we can't read meters, and we might as well shut the water sewer plant down. Because that's the only way that we can generate revenue is by having those meters spin, reading those meters, and sending the bills out. And plus, this program does a lot more than just read meters, but that's the most important thing to us. And
We fixed a lot of problems by moving to the system too, because I remember I had to get a new meter because my meter, like after a while, it slows, it doesn't keep track correctly because of whatever comes, you know, just the
Slow meter.
We have an
overuse.
extensive program of changing out meters and changing out the auto read that reads. Every house has a box. And for us not to do, if we wanted to go to anywhere besides Aetna and Census, that means all new meters and all new reading boxes.
And software and servers.
And software, server.
And we'd be starting all over again with a whole new thing.
all over.
All because
So-
they want to host our stuff and not let us host
And they're
our own
upgrading,
stuff.
they're upgrading their software, and it's gonna be a great project or, system. They brought it into us.
For 3 years.
Well, we don't know how long. Well, we do, I
think
mean, as
5
far
years.
as the
I
5
read a
years-
lot.
The 5 years of hosting, but.
Right.
through
you know,
2022.
through- Right. And, you know, granted, they are one of the best,
Mayor.
but I just feel, And I still feel that we went through this big expense in 2010. It's working, and you know me, I will never spend money if we don't have to. And I've fought and fought and fought, but I'm losing sleep over it now because I know that.
We don't have any choice, though,
We
do we?
don't, because
No.
like Josh told me,
Right.
he said it's not if, it's when. When
Right.
the system goes down, if we don't do this.
Well, they're
And
doing it
FM
to
says
everybody,
no.
though.
Yeah.
I mean,
They are.
everybody's getting it done to
They
them.
are.
I've talked to
By
them.
this great system, I'm sorry,
And
to
it's
interrupt.
Commissioner
Everyone in
Attorney has a
Michigan is-
question. Thank you.
Use it.
Well, the only, yeah, I agree with the other commissioners. We're behind the eight ball here. You don't know this in the computer world until actually this happens in a new contract. So what we're doing here is basically giving ourselves 5 years to try to look at a different system. Because when 5 years from now, they probably will raise their prices.
Well, they probably will, except we've invested in.
Meters.
Meters that
Right.
are lasting, how, JT, you with us?
Yeah, our meters now last for about 20 years.
Yeah.
And we're about 200 away from completing our entire changeout.
Right, yeah.
I'll tell you a feel-good story that just happened over the weekend. Bill Housen actually noticed through our phones, through controls, that our lift station was pumping more cycles than it should have on a Saturday. So he calls our water guy, Scott, and says, Scott, any fluctuation in who's using more water than they should be because our meters on the lift station's running quite high. So Scott goes in and he gets on our software that we use, and we realize that we have 3 locations that are using a lot of water. One of them was CNS Machine. They had gone through 43,000 gallons in a matter of, as quickly as a 2-inch line would put it out. Yeah, in a half a day. So
course,
we
they're
were
shut
able
down,
to
so they don't
contact
know.
CNS Machine, now that they're not in the building, and let them know if they have broken water pipe, most of them did. Same way at 209 Main Street, also one of our customers out on Main Street, just beyond their township hall, the very next place I think used to be their city hall. He too was using somewhere around 16,000 gallons by using the parameters of who's using a lot of water. So we stopped 3 water leaks, had some really satisfied customers. I just asked Bill if maybe some saw would pay for some of this our grant, because it's attached to wastewater as well.
Okay. All right.
I can add from a technical standpoint, the hosted solution will take some burden off of the local servers that manage this network. And when those servers need upgraded, they won't need as much horsepower as they have now to host those 2 utility billing servers that are on them currently. So that is,
Right.
and the liability and the firewall, the protection, that all goes to Census once they've hosted it. And they're responsible for maintaining and keeping it up. And, as far as I know, they should be doing a good job. This is what they're doing. They're pushing all the cities in Michigan that use Census to do it. So, there's some benefit from a technical standpoint for hosting it.
Whenever you get.
Okay. Yes.
So basically, Julie, I don't think, this is something that would have happened irregardless of who we went with. Because that's the way the technology is going anyhow. It's the bait and
That's a
hook.
fair statement. Yeah.
Probably.
They got
yeah.
you got the equipment, you got no choice. Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 12, Windows 16, whatever you want to call it. I don't know that much about it, but,
But
that's
we-
what the bottom line is, go out and buy new equipment. So as long as we're hooked up to these guys, I mean, it's gonna be cheaper than going through the whole process of cheap.
Oh,
And I mean, it would have been the
absolutely.
same
And they
thing
know
no
it.
matter who we went
And
with,
that's why they
correct,
weren't
pretty
in
much?
any hurry to, push us into a decision. They knew it.
Right.
And they
I
were
mean, the
either
only way
waiting
we
for
could
us
have
to-
avoided this was staying with the old read meters, pretty much.
Right,
Right.
right. Stayed in the old way, but it's a great system. I mean, JT just explained it. And we can read meters in 37 seconds. We read meters all the time. We can track problems. It is great. I give you that. But I just, and you too, we just can't believe we're here.
Yeah.
We fought, we tried hard. And
We
I'm not
believe
gonna
you did. Commissioner Attorney has a question. Or
Yeah,
a comment.
one of the things, Julie, that, when we get our packets on Friday, we get a lot of information, a lot of things that we have to do in a day and a half. And I noticed on the quote, you guys got this quote in September. You know, you should have let us know, like, hey, you know, down the road, we have to make a decision. This is just another thing that we have to go
To
through.
be very honest with you, in September, that's when we were talking with Aquahawk. and
Right.
I really felt that, and so did Josh, that we found an angle that we were gonna save $20-some thousand.
Yeah.
But then the farther we dug into it, we realized that we weren't gonna save anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, it-
we're caught,
We are. We are.
because it's the meters that got you caught.
When we talked to Fund Balance, our accounting software system, they said the only thing that we could do, if we wanted to, was to start purchasing other meters, but read Aetna's this way, and keep our fingers crossed that nothing happens, and then find the other reading system, and then merge them together, which would be impossible. And to do that for 10 years until we had all the meters changed back out. So yeah, we're stuck. I'm sorry to bring this to you. I'm sorry to spend $39,000. We've tried.
Well, we have to go ahead, just because with the new water plant and everything, we can't have
Yeah,
anything that
yeah.
going with it.
No, we
so
can't take
They
the
don't know
gamble.
that, but we know it.
Right.
How much money has it saved us, Julie? It saved us money, so I mean,
yeah.
you know, the
Yes.
thing,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so, I mean, the thing about it is,
We used to have one employee reading meters for 3 weeks a month,
right,
and now we're reading them in 37 seconds.
right, so I mean,
And that employee is out doing a lot more important things than reading a meter and putting it in the book or using the handheld. Yes, yes. Like I said, it's a great
Right, it's
system.
more efficient.
It's just, I can't believe it's so much money.
It's one of those unforeseen computer things that happen that they don't tell you about until
And I
the
asked
issue's
Bill
up.
from Aetna to attend tonight, and he said that he couldn't, but he could be available by phone if anyone wanted.
Yeah, of course he could
Wanted to
be.
call him.
It's easier.
All right, I'm going to need a motion on this.
All right, I'll make the motion that we approve the upgrade on electronic meter reading systems with Aetna Census in the amount of $39,185 for 2018, $15,942 for 2019, $16,420 for 2020, $16,913 for 2021, and $17,420 for 2022, including budget amendment for Water and Sewer Enterprise Fund in the amount of $39,185.
I need a second.
I'll support.
Okay, Carla supported that. I need a roll call, please.
Hess,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Bianski,
yes.
Torney,
Yes.
Cole. Darn it, yes.
Right?
Unanimous, Your Honor.
Thank you, and Gladys, would you send up to the company, please? Thank you.
And I would like to just make sure that you know that the 4 years that you stated, the 16,000, the 15,000, that's their hosting fees that, that we have to pay.
Yeah,
So
it's broken down.
It's not for the software or whatever, but it's the hosting, the maintenance.
Right.
And support and all of that, so that's necessary.
That
as
was
well.
another thing that I
Right.
found in the packet later, and after I sent my email out.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
were getting quotes since February, so, yeah. But-
Thank you
but
very much
thank
to
you all
both of
for
you. And we
understanding.
know that you worked hard on this, so thank you for trying to save us some money. We realize that was a struggle. All right, we are up to item number 9. It's public comments. This time, citizens are allowed up to 3 minutes to discuss any non-agenda item. Please approach the microphone. Please make sure that you say your name and your address as well. I think we forgot that earlier. Yes, go right ahead.
Jerry Flanner, Chamber of Commerce. On February 17th, the Chamber is hosting another trivia night
Ooh,
at the Senior Center. And I know last year the city had a team, so we're challenging the city to come back and try to win it again this year, so.
We did really crappy last.
we did. We were short people, and
That's
there
why we're
were.
giving you notice.
Okay, and this
Get a hold of
year.
Census, they'll help you with that.
Okay, and last year I did attempt to challenge Niles, and the Niles mayor chickened out. So he said, he said he had other commitments. So I'll be contacting him later this week too.
February 17th.
All right, Niles versus Buchanan. Stay
He
tuned.
knew he was
Thank
up-
you.
He knew he was up
Yeah.
against a teacher.
Yeah, right.
It was a
Good
fun night.
evening.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Hi.
I'm a new resident for Buchanan. I came back home September of 2016.
Oh, yeah, I need your name and your address.
Oh, my name is Mildred Berry Poole. My address is 109, Apartment 2, Liberty Street, Buchanan, Michigan, 49107. Want to make you guys laugh. I'm here I'm here on the behalf of our mayor. It's just something that I was concerned about when I came back in September. I wanted to find her and I couldn't find her. And maybe nobody has ever stood in her behalf, but I'm standing here. And I'm proud of her to be my mayor. I read her bio in the paper, and I was very, very impressed with her and also Sherry Daniels. Very impressed. Thank you for allowing her to be publicized. I appreciate that. She took me to coffee and wanted to buy me something to eat and didn't know who I was. I didn't know where she was. I wanted to find my mayor. I've never been in the city. I've been a resident of all over the country. My first husband was a military man. My second husband was a pastor. So I had both worlds. I wanted to know where my mayor was. So what I'm standing for, and I'm gonna sit down. I'm noted somebody's watching a 3 minutes episode, so we're gonna go by the episodes of 3 minutes. So I thank you for being here. I wanted to be here. I wanted to be present. I told her I was coming. She didn't know when. I had to have coffee with her at the Union House. I'm just wondering, why doesn't she have an office here? If she wants one, I said I was gonna bring that to your attention. I want to find my mayor when I come to the city hall. I've been all over the country as a military wife, and I've never found my mayor. I gotta look for her all over the world. I don't want that. I want to find my mayor in the city. So that's what I'm addressing today. Thank you for your timing, and thank you for being a part of this commission meeting tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Going to explain why you don't have an office?
I don't know why I don't have an office, so no, I will not be addressing that. Hi, good evening.
My name is Dan Robertson. I live at 601 River Street right
Hi,
there in
Dan.
Buchanan.
Yeah.
We approached this body on getting an alley vacated back in, I believe it was May, and you all issued a resolution to do that in June.
Oh, yes.
And thank you very much to Deborah Patzer, who was instrumental over the last 5 or 6 years in pursuing that. Once we got this vacation done, we had our surveyors come out, resurvey it, only to find another problem. The alley that was vacated ran into Enterprise Street that was vacated and relocated next to it. Enterprise Street runs through our house in part and through the entirety of the neighbor's house behind us. Our surveyors told us that we need to get that straightened out by the city
Okay.
before we can get a defined line on our property. After all these years, and this started with the Dessenberg suit from
Oh,
2011.
yes. We're familiar, yes.
And I have all kinds of thoughts on that I won't express right now. But we also wanted to combine our 3 lots into 1 lot, and I understand that I need the city's permission to do that. That's true.
Okay.
He needs to come and talk to you, doesn't he, Deborah?
County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the meeting, can you meet up with Deborah and
Oh,
make
absolutely.
arrangements? And
Absolutely.
we'll probably hear from you again in the not-too-distant future. I
I'm
don't
hoping
think.
I can stop bugging you
Okay.
all, but,
No, you're not bugging us at all. That's part of what we do, yes.
and once again, Deborah's been instrumental.
Excellent,
Over the
thank
last
you.
6 years we've been doing it. She's
We've been at this for a while.
Very nice.
fielded an awful lot of my phone calls
Yeah.
over the years and has been very gracious.
Well, you've had some surprises, so
Yes, we have.
thank you very
Thank
for
you, I
much.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
for coming. Anyone else this evening? All right, the city manager isn't here for city manager comments. Deborah, did you have anything to say on his behalf?
No, I just wanted to thank you for being here and thank everyone who did come. He has a son in the Navy. His son is home now, so they're
yep.
taking some time.
Yes.
Well-deserved.
Yes. All
That's
right.
all I have. Thank you.
Great. And with that, we'll go on to commissioners' comments. Let's start down here on this end with Dale, please.
No, thank you, Your Honor. I have a couple comments. First off, I want, JT is here. I'm not mad at JT. I'm not mad at your workers. I think you guys do an outstanding job. It's just that the city of Buchanan is in a snow belt, okay? And we need to be thinking forward. If we need new projects, we need new trucks or shovels. We got a budget meeting coming up in February. Please put down your requests, because the one thing that Buchanan should not be, fail at is snow removal, okay, or plowing. When I got comments from Briolda and Bridgman that their streets were good, and when I drove down 12 and Galeen had cleaner streets than ours, I started, what's going on? Then I got a few phone calls from senior citizens saying, what is happening? And then I started driving around the streets. I even came down to City Hall, and the side streets were terrible. And the one time I did drive downtown, the downtown was pretty clean, and it stopped right at the stoplight, and up the hill, it was like a new world.
I know, it didn't end up being on the agenda.
But
My
I just want to
apologies.
let you know that I appreciate you guys, what you do. We just have to have a little bit more communication. We need to know scheduling. Unfortunately, a few of my neighbors live in the neighborhood. When the plow comes around the top, and I understand how the plow works, speed is essential. But then we're out there, and then all of a sudden our driveways are full again. Maybe if we had to know what the schedule is, so that we can go out there. I've been out there 22 times in 14 days. And that's not, I don't know how many times my neighbors are, okay? So I want to work with you guys. If you need equipment, let us know. If you need backup, maybe we need some training of a few other people so they can fill in. Injuries happen, illness happens, but Buchanan must not fail in snow country.
I got a note, I can drop off, that's what I was gonna read to you along with our salt purchase orders. Maybe help explain some of that things, and I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's all right, JT. I
That would
understand.
be great. Thank you so much.
So I say, I'm with you guys. If you need more stuff, let us know, especially this coming February, so we can say, okay, this has got to be on the agenda. I mean, we got a couple new plows for you, and we got a new truck, but it doesn't help when there's personnel issues, when they're down, ill, or sick, or whatever. Maybe we have to take somebody else and have training. It's just, you guys are doing the best you can.
I totally understand it's your responsibility as much as it's mine to fill these columns and to be a part of the solution. I think with an explanation, I think maybe we can answer a ton of those questions.
Yeah, I think we can work it out. If there's always going to be issues, the thing is, we have to work at the issues and solve them, and it's just like the computer, you don't know until something pops up. The only other comment that I have is the Bell Center in Niles on January 15th, they're having a big Martin Luther King meeting. If anybody wants to come there, be involved. I don't have the exact address. I tried to look for it before I got here, but I couldn't find it. I plan on being there, and I believe citizens from Buchanan should support the Niles area. And maybe you might want to show up. It'll be at 4 p.m. on January 15th at I believe it's called the Bell Town there?
The Bell Building.
The Bell Building. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes.
Thank you. So that is all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Cole?
The only comment I have is, darn, why didn't we have the thrill last weekend?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It was a thrill.
That's really your only comment? Oh, that's good. All right. Commissioner Dan, you're up.
I wanted to address the mayor. She's appointed. She's not elected. We appoint her. And she's not supposed to be down here as much as she is. So, I mean, she doesn't get paid any more than the rest of us for the amount of time she spends down here. We've got a very aggressive mayor, and she just needs to get her butt out of here. And by not having an office, that's supposed to keep her out of here. You're welcome.
Anything else?
No, stay healthy. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sicker than a dog, and I don't want to give it all to you, but these are important, and I came down here. And I've been trying not to sneeze on any of you, so,
Thank you. We appreciate that.
you know.
All right, Commissioner Moore?
Well, she's left now, but I did want to say welcome to Carol, and hope that we could see a lot of exciting production out of the chamber, and hopefully they're going to have a lot of great ideas for this coming year. And I did want to say that I appreciated Officer Bree's weekly comments. I don't know how many people are seeing those on Facebook and websites. There's the right amount of humor to them. She does a great job with it, especially kind of related to the little window and the snow on the windshield. So if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It was very funny, and it was, I think it's a good look for the, good publicity for the city. So congratulations to everyone who's working with her on that. And your snowplow broke my post that my mailbox is on, so you guys are going to be hearing from me later.
JT.
I know. Get a number and be in line. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm sure we'll come to some kind of mutual agreement about that. So, but yeah, under difficult circumstances, I think the plowing. I personally thought the main streets were very good, especially when I was having to drive up to Dowagiac on Friday, and the secondary roads weren't too good, but you had to get those main streets done first. So I really did not have a problem with that. I thought they did a good job. So that's it.
Okay. My comments for today are Saturday, I was honored to be invited down to the fire department. 3 very young people I know, the Carlin children, gave away, I believe, over 150 free carbon monoxide detectors. Over the summer, they had a carbon monoxide accident in their new home, and it was very, very serious. They ended up having to stay in the hospital for an entire day until the CO2 levels in their blood dropped, and it was on their heart to help other people. And I was just amazed. I know those children because they help me a little bit with the little free library, and they like to help me pick out categories for books, which is a whole other story for another day. But the level of maturity and how they approach city residents, and the way city residents encouraged them and offered their support. It was one of the more touching things. Like, someone asked me for a comment. I could barely choke one out because it just touched me so much that these little children, and they went to a lot of work. They wrote a letter, and they went to their schools and asked for money. They worked with Redbud Hardware to get discounted prices. They got in touch with a foundation that also supports carbon monoxide testers. So that's just one of many bright spots this holiday season. And I hope that you were touched by something this holiday season in Buchanan, because I know it's a sign up here and we kind of ignore it because it's always just there. But really, life is better here in Buchanan. And it's because of kids like the Carlin kids and grown-ups doing things, and people that volunteer at RAM. And, there's just so many people that quietly do nice things in this community. I just want to say that I'm super proud, and it is my honor to be the mayor of such a special place to live. And thank you for everything. I feel like we're moving forward as a community, and it takes all of us to get us where we're going. So thank you. We have snafus. We appreciate your patience, and mostly we appreciate you coming to our meetings. Thank you so much. And with that, I need a motion to adjourn.
Also move.
All right. Second, meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Pat.
Oh, I forgot to. Oh.
Okay.
Well, you did.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
I mentioned it. Pat, do you not, another one for
thanks.
the office downtown here?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I'm
If you
gonna-
don't need it.
I'm going to take mine to school, so.
Oh, okay. All right. thank you.
You're welcome. He's working on his day.
Well,
I'm not being nosy, I just want to make sure I got his checks.
yeah, I think they.
I got yours, I knew I got yours. Dan, do we have your checks?
Send that over to Pat, would you please?
I mean, they were so funny
Okay.
in there, and I thought it was
Okay.
hilarious, so. Yeah, no, that's great.
Oh, what do you guys think?
Okay, thanks.
Oh, and I mean, the comments are really positive on Facebook, you know, so people are really happy about it, so I hope she continues. Yeah, no, I think it's great, so encourage her, I hope it continues. Yeah, no, please do. I think it's wonderful.
Hey, hi, how you doing?
Minutes?
Doing okay.
Oh, LOWE.
I wondered why I haven't seen you. What?
And the resolution.
Oh, you're kidding.
Do you guys know when
Oh, you
Bill's gonna
did?
be back?
The 11th, he said, which is Thursday.
Just that proposal, that means we'll have.
He'll be back here, or he won't be back till Friday.
I didn't want to bug you. I've been in and out and around and
Had to report you. Or text him. Try not to bug him too much. No, well, you know, I think we're all.
I bet.
Right?
I know, I got
Yeah,
The guy that pilots the ship, yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought that bench thing was so cool.
It is.
And you know what? They have asked me, like, for the longest time, and I just thought they forgot. And I've been saving caps to give to them, and then they never ask for them. So she
could've-
calls me up
yeah.
and she's like, look, the bench is ready. And I'm like, oh, I got this big old thing. And I got
Caps and they didn't get.
so I don't know if we want to look into it, and maybe that's how we get benches from here on out. I don't know either, but you know what, that's really good because I always put the caps in.
Okay, thank you, I
I figured
appreciate it.
they hire people to sort everything out. I'm gonna err
Do you have
on
any
the
more
side
checks
of
down
caution.
here?
I don't want it. Let's give it a try.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I was really tired tonight, honey.
Thanks for covering it.
To her, I'll let her have it first.
Well, we'll try. Huh.
Do you have any checks, Carla?
No.
Did
I
Dale
turned
have?
them all in. I have no idea.
It seemed like they were saying names, but not others.
Yeah, I will.
Did you sign any?
Oh, they were talking about specific people that actually
have any
work for
signed
those
by Carla.
organizations.
Carla, why didn't you sign Gosling and then LB?
She said she turned them in.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I got yours today.
Oh, we'll see
You can go ask JT, he's still here.
Yeah, I would ask Dan,
Yeah.
and I passed it down, so maybe.
That's not how I typically pronounce that one.
I mean, they are signed, right?
They-
Finally called us back and they said, well, your number is supply.
It's something weird, like.
It's spelled a different way. Yeah, I would check it. So, yeah, it is. But we know eventually, you know, we'll be right back.
The top ones are from us.
Yeah, Cindy. It's just, you know.
I think it's close to order.
We're all getting old.
Yeah, I know why you think so. I knock on wood all the time.
Something flying around.
So, but
I think that's
you,
the
my
stink bug
goodness,
he's
and
talking
now I know
about.
why I haven't seen you.
Good, how are you, Cindy? Happy New Year.
Just don't go chasing anybody.
Oh, we're not defeated, we'll just come up with another plan, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still, yeah, the location has been approved.
Right.
It's just, with that property.
You don't know what's underneath.
And really, it was.
I sure will. Thank you very much.
We'll just keep coming back until we find the right Never mind.
Oh, I only voted no on the repayment. I
Yeah,
didn't vote
well,
no on the dog park.
we'll come up with something,
I think
so.
when you said
Well, I do like the other idea because it runs everything that our money is.
No. Exactly, and so
Yep.
for their
We'll work
protection
on it.
too, you know. No, with 70, and I think it's like most parks, it's a 30-pound,
Yeah.
30-pound,
we've ever had, isn't it?
you know, like cutoff.
Yes.
That defines what a small dog is.
You?
Is a small dog.